Dad died, my brother smirked. You'll get the doll collection. The lawyer looked up. 85% of the company was mine, and that was only the first twist. Behind it were unsent letters, dirty debts, and a plan to save the family with the discipline of numbers. If you've ever been pushed to the sidelines, stay. This story will show you how to turn a scratch into wood grain. My name is Juliet. In my house, girls were taught to be polite. Boys were taught to lead. Dad took my brother to job sites. I was sent to ballet. But every night after the kitchen lights went out, Mom pulled me to the table and opened a hard-covered book, not a fairy tale, a ledger. She pointed line by line, costs, cash flow, gross margin. That's when I learned why my lemonade stand made so little. I forgot to price the ice, the plastic cups, and my time. Mom said, real profit comes from discipline with numbers, not compliments. From then on, I had two schools, grades by day, unit cost, negotiation, inventory turns by night. No one knew, and that invisibility taught me to see what others miss. Once, for the school fair, I wanted to sell cookies. Mom didn't bake, she handed me a spreadsheet. Each cookie carries flour, butter, electricity, zip bags, and cleanup. What's your price on your own labor? I tried 10,000, D10K. Mom asked, if it rains, do you still profit? I learned to model the worst case, then add a 15% risk buffer. The next day, she stood in the corner while I handled customers, listened to objections, adjusted my pitch. That night, she showed me the bottleneck, long lines at packaging, because I'd chosen ribbon instead of staples. Pretty but slow, save pretty for the gift version at a higher price. I realized that in business, the deepest pain isn't being called not good, it's being dismissed. Every A+ at dinner got a nod, but in Mom's ledger, each tiny calculation made me feel seen. If you've been like Juliet, quiet in the passenger seat, start your kitchen table MBA. Track a week of spending, assign unit costs to everything, pick a small project, resell items, set up a mini coffee corner, design slides as a service, and draft a one-page PL, revenue, variable costs, fixed costs, margin. Practice micro-negotiations. Ask suppliers for 3% off for early payment. Try value-based pricing instead of cost plus. Most of all, don't wait for anyone to hand you the lead role. Write it with data, discipline, and something customers will pay for. If this hits home, write one line today. What will I measure? Then do it. You don't need applause to lead. You need numbers that speak and the courage to start. On my 18th birthday, Mom handed me a thin brown envelope, not lucky money, legal documents. I read slowly. The family construction company had been in her name since day one, and when I turned 18, ownership would automatically transfer to me under an arrangement signed years ago. Why am I only learning this now? I asked. Mom smiled. On site, people trust the word boss. In law, only the name on paper is the real owner. Right then, I grasped there are two parallel worlds, one loud with titles and one quiet but decisive with clauses. I grew up watching Dad praised, my brother anointed heir. Meanwhile, Mom, soft-spoken, stood outside the frame. Turns out she was the architect of the footing, formed the company under her name to ring-fence liability, set up a trust for clean transfer, pre-wired voting rights so no one could flip the board when emotions ran hot. She didn't chase credit, she sustained it. Real leadership doesn't need a spotlight, she said. It needs protection of the right decision. Those late nights reverse engineering cost of goods, her blue ink circles around risk and plan B, they all led to this envelope. The future no longer a promise, but lawful control placed in my hands. If you're building anything, shop or startup, don't let your work live on verbal trust. Draft a one-page legal map. Entity, LLC Corp. Separate personal assets from business risk. Ownership votes, who owns how much, and more crucially, who decides, veto, supermajority. Succession, Living trust will, so assets transfer without operational downtime. Protective clauses, anti-dilution, transfer restrictions, buyback on breach. Docs access, password vault, cap table, minutes, standardized and current. Don't wait for someday. The day you sign is the day you protect yourself. And if, like Juliet, you've been told you're not a fit, put your name on paper before it's on the sign outside. Titles can be noisy, but clauses are what decide. Write 3 tasks today. Choose entity, draft shareholder agreement, set a transfer plan, sleep better. Your future won't depend on someone else's nod. The reading of the will wasn't TV drama, old wood smell, yellow light, a few curious glances. The lawyer opened the file, cadence slow as a metronome. Then the line hit the table. Juliet receives 85% voting control and the family home. Jackson, lifelong heir apparent, gets 15% non-voting and the vintage cars. 3 seconds of silence. The title heir evaporated. Voting power lived elsewhere. When numbers show up, noise goes quiet. I saw 2 faces at once. The sidelined girl and the woman sitting upright at the head of the table. Not victory over my brother, clarity at last. Years of quiet ledgers with Mom, years of being dismissed, now returned as a real mandate. Jackson's fury, I understood. He'd trained for a role the contracts never cast. My feelings were tangled, joy, sting, and a file cabinet's worth of responsibility. 85% isn't a percentage, it's decision rights plus duty to fix. The house isn't just walls, it's memory and a choice. Live, sell, or turn it into value. In the swirl, a strange calm arrived. Paper beats argument. Clarity is a kind of kindness. If you ever stand where Juliet stood, here's a 1-2-week checklist to balance heart and hard facts. 1. Verify legal status now. Copies of will, codicils, attestations, share class, voting, non-voting, transfer limits. 2. Map ownership authority, diagram percent and voting rights, note appointment, removal rights, approval thresholds. 3. Seal cash flows, pause abnormal spend, change signatories, update banks, 2 signatures over threshold. 4. Minimal but clear comms, 1-page internal letter, ownership confirmed, continuity pledge, meeting schedule, no emotional debates by email. 5. Family dialogue with boundaries, meet privately, stick to documents. Offer a dignified exit, buyback, advisory role without control. 6. Safeguard tangible assets, inventory the home and keepsakes, set usage policy early to prevent invisible losses. 7. Adopt the 90-day rule, no major deals, sale, MA, until finance legal ops review is complete. A will doesn't just split, it points the way. Once the path is clear, walk it with numerical discipline and bounded compassion. 85% won't save you, right decisions will save the 85%. 3 days after the reading, I, Juliet, sat at a screen opening files like cracking safes. The first tell wasn't a huge number, it was small repeats, executive advance, representation expense at our pre-dawn. Bank subledgers showed transfers to Jackson's personal account with fuzzy memos. Next, AR aging up, AP stretched. Westfield postponing signature, while internal emails revealed Jackson meeting them off-book to undercut bids. The picture formed: embezzlement, gambling debt dragging finances down, and poaching clients to launch his own shop. Truthfully, I felt no glee, I felt waste. Someone raised on privilege, handed keys before learning PL, had chosen to burn trust capital with company cards, self-approved bonuses, hospitality that looked like chips. When I confronted Jackson, anger collapsed into panic. Debts with names you don't want to know, deadlines closing in. I was both sister and operator, care for the person, protect the system. Every dollar he took was a worker's wage, a promise to a client torn up. Cut him off. Save him. I chose a third way: help with guardrails and seal every leak. If you suspect misconduct in a family business, run 3T: track, trap, treat. Track 1. Reconcile bank statements versus ledger for 12 to 24 months. Build a cash flow map by category: advances, hospitality, bonuses. 2. Search email logs for advance, bonus, comp, Westfield, external, side. Enable legal hold. And 3. Pull ARAP aging, flag over budget jobs, friendly vendors with sudden price lifts, possible rebates, kickbacks. Trap 1. Change signing authority, 2 signatures over threshold. Disable old cards. 2. Make PO mandatory. Tie spend to project codes. 3. Send a 48-hour client assurance note, confirm team, schedule, single point of contact, offer free technical review plus savings ideas. Treat 1. Engage CFO auditor to calculate clawbacks. 2. Offer a legal settlement, repayment plan, release of claims, addiction treatment, if needed, and suspension of governance rights. 3. Launch an anonymous whistle line and a monthly SOX Light review, segregation of duties, independent reconciliations. Kindness can't replace controls. Help the person, but save the company with process. With truth on paper, you protect the firm and give the wrongdoer a chance to walk right or walk away. In the basement sat a no-one-touches storage room. I, Juliet, unlocked it. A neon flickered on. Boxes labeled in marker, report cards, articles, shop photos. One box had my name. Inside, yellowed clippings about my business, purchase orders for my furniture routed through intermediaries, and a stack of Dad's letters, never sent. Some were a line. Your walnut table holds its own in the boardroom. Others half a page. Your mother would be proud. I am too, though I'm bad with words. All those silent years he was tracking me, feeding my revenue with anonymous orders, archiving proof as his private pride. I'd believed I was invisible to him. He loved in actions, not words. So awkward he hid behind dealers, kept my shop photos in a strategy folder. The feeling reading them was odd, warm and raw. Warm because I was finally seen through his eyes, not the polite daughter, but a businesswoman. Raw because the lines, "I wish I had the courage to say this," stayed on paper instead of at the dinner table. Men of that generation often provide by doing, pay tuition for others, place orders at my store, then lose the speech contest with their own kids. The unsent letters don't excuse him, they decode him. They gave me what I lacked, context to close a chapter. If you grew up in a house sparse with praise, try 3 practical steps. 1. Action versus words. Matrix. List 10 family moments. Column A, what was said. Column B, what was done, paid bills, drove you to exams. Often column B is the real love. 2. Archive the proof of care, collect texts, receipts, photos, letters into a living legacy folder. Labeling emotional data helps healing. 3. Write and send. Pick one person you owe thanks or one sentence you've withheld. Keep it short, specific, present. Don't let it become the 101st unsent letter. Parents, leaders, don't leave love in draft. Say it while you can and sign it with clear action. An invoice can sustain a business. The right sentence at the right time can sustain a life. A day 1 after I, Juliet, changed the safe code and signing rights. Phones lit up, clients pausing signatures, suppliers chasing bills, crews asking about materials. I didn't promise it'll be fine. I triaged. Stop the leaks, secure key clients, then talk vision. In 72 hours, I declared disciplined emergency. Freeze non-PO spend, 2 signatures above D50M, kill old corporate cards, and run a 10 to 4 war room focused on cash, schedule, accountability, stop the bleeding, then stitch. I wouldn't mimic the last generation or repeat its sentimental errors. So I called top clients with one honest line: new driver, same promise. I'll sign every inspection this week. A pause, then yeses. On site, I swapped speeches for checklists, reset the warehouse, count reel on hand, redeploy A crews to late tasks. At night, I reopened Dad's recovery plan and added the sustainability layer he hadn't finished: certified materials catalog, waste recovery SOPs, and a design-build bundle called Efficient Core, save 18-25% energy without pushing CapEx beyond 3-5%. Sustainability to me isn't a badge, it's margin plus trust. The 90-day playbook you can copy. Days 0 to 7, stop leaks, keep clients, freeze non-PO spend, enable to-sign, call top 10 clients, schedule 72 HR technical walkthrough, pitch 3 concrete savings, flag red jobs, delay 10% overrun 8%, add PMQA on-site, days 8 to 30, build the operating base, daily orders, progress cost dashboard by project, standardize BOM pricing, rebid shady subs, roll 4-gate QA, QC, receiving, pre-install, post-install, joint sign-off, PM plus QA plus owner. Days 31 to 60, make green equals money. Launch. Efficient core, quality LEDs, drivers, right-sized HVAC, certified recycled materials, payback, 4 years. Kin green supply chain, 3 certified vendors, KPIs, scrap, 15% CD recycling, 50%. Pick one lighthouse project to publish KWH M2 water waste. Day 6190. People credibility. Competency matrix. Promote field strong, reassign weak. Publish one-page quarterly PL to staff partners. Lock variable bonus tied to safety, quality, gross margin. Aim early for positive cash. AR aging down. GM up 2 to 3 PTs. Sustainability doesn't slow you. It makes each brick worth more and each promise harder to doubt. On a rainy morning, Juliet looked Jackson in the eye. I'll help, but not with company money and not without conditions. He was used to hearing yes. This time he heard a term sheet. I slid 3 papers across. 1, personal loan from me. 2, gambling addiction treatment with a concrete schedule. 3, full release non-interference with the company. You're not a victim, I said. You're responsible. I'll open a door, you walk and repay. It's hard to separate the brother who taught me to ride a bike from the man who drained the till. I wasn't after revenge. I wanted to end the loop: privilege, breach, family bailout, relapse. An unconditional bailout merely extends the problem. Turning my back would make me like those who turned theirs on me. The middle path is compassion with boundaries. Save the person, govern the behavior. When Jackson signed, his hand shook. His fear was real. So was fairness to the team. Every loan dollar meant I'd face crews and say paychecks and materials were safe. That's only true when rules are written and enforced. My terms: adapt them for your family small business. 1, personal loan, not company funds. Lender, Juliet, personal. Amount: enough to clear immediate debts, verified. Rate, tenor, reasonable interest, plus fixed schedule, auto debit. Collateral, car watch personal equity, with remedies on default. Acceleration, 15 days late, balance due at once. 2, treatment monitoring, 90-day in-outpatient program plus mandatory GA group. Weekly proof of attendance, testing to lender counsel. Blocks on casinos/betting apps, legal commitment plus tech blocks. Personal finance coaching, 6 sessions. 3, waivers conduct, Release of all claims versus Juliet/company, past, present, future. Non-interference with clients' vendors during repayment. Non-disparagement of company staff. No control, no rehire in 12 months. Entry-level role considered only after treatment plus 6 months clean record. Step down, breach any term, support ends, collateral enforced. 4. Transparency. Neutral monitor, CFO lawyer. Monthly reports, income, payments, treatment proof. Milestone incentives, 6 on-time months. Rate 0.5 Pete. 12 clean months. Role review. Terms aren't to humiliate, they're guardrails. Disciplined kindness blocks the old road and opens a new one, for them and for everyone depending on you. 3 months after staunching the bleeding, my dashboard turned humane. AR past due, 28%, GM plus 2.7 PTs, accidents equal 0. Yet what stopped people in the lobby wasn't charts, it was Mom's doll display. I, Juliet, set the glass case in the best light, each doll with a tag. The year Mom gave it, its story, and an ops lesson. Doll number 7, third QC before handover. The lobby stopped being a waiting room. It became a memory hall. Why we exist, to build with craft and care. We converted the family home, not shuttered or sold, into a community space. Dining room, on-site childcare, shift hours so early crews can drop off kids. Backyard, sustainability demo garden, recycled pavers, permeable paths, drip irrigation. Dad's office, trade reading corner with site journals from decades. On Fridays, when foremen pick up their kids, I overhear, Old Harold was tough but fair. Mrs. Elizabeth's dolls are beautiful. Those fragments soften the jagged years in me and stitch trade pride back into the team. Recovery isn't only new contracts, it's new meaning, a place where families feel included in the blueprint. Want financial recovery to become cultural recovery? My 90-day framework. 1. Redesign the lobby equals live brand story. Display 3 layers. A. Keepsakes, dolls, hand sketches. B. Project milestones. C. Trade lessons cards. Add QR codes to quantified case studies. KWH M2 saved, % waste recycled. Offer 30-minute tours to clients/candidates, turn the lobby into experience. 2. Convert the family home into shared asset. Zoning, licenses, permits for childcare, community space. Safety, exits, fire systems, cameras, liability insurance. Operations, certified childcare partner, use policy, booking, cleaning, hours. Events, WED Skills Hour, safety, drawings, Fry Family Cafe, relatives welcome. 3. Tie culture to hard KPIs, childcare, punctuality, absenteeism for caregiving, demo garden, efficient core orders, irrigation costs, memory hall, offer accept rate, B2B close time, trust. 4. Transparency through small rituals. Each project handover adds a lesson card to the case, names of the crew included. Post a 1-page quarterly trust board, revenue, safety, quality, honest, brief, readable. When numbers turn green, let story and community keep them that way. Profit feeds the company. Memory and meaning feed the people who build it. On Dad's Memorial Day, I, Juliet, stood by the lit lobby and Mom's doll case to announce our biggest step since the takeover. The Harold Elizabeth Fund for Women and Underrepresented Groups Entering Construction. Not a flashy check, a runway, scholarships, paid internships, mentoring, and a single door to real jobs. Dad built foundations, Mom wrote clauses, I said. Today we bridge them into a pathway for the next. Silence, then applause that wasn't polite. It was recognition. I remember the polite chair while leadership chairs were saved for others. That feeling makes people shrink before the big chance arrives. This fund isn't virtue signaling. It cuts the detour, scholarship, field internship, certifications, job, 12-month mentorship. I named it Harold Elizabeth to tell each applicant, you don't need bias's permission, you have an invitation. And to my team, talent has no gender or pedigree, only standards and duty. Program framework, steal for your company. 1, 4 pillars, scholarships, 2030, year for CM, architecture, engineering, or skilled trades, 1K to 3K each. Paid internships, 12 to 16 WKs, field and back office tracks, concrete goals, safety, quality, schedule. 1.1 mentoring, 12 months. Each fellow paired with a PM super, bi-weekly touch points, quarterly reviews. Certs tools, OSHA, safety, BIM, AutoCAD exams, and a starter toolkit on day 1. 2. Finance governance. Seed by allocating 1% of after-tax profit plus vendor sub-sponsors, funds separate from company. Board of 5-7, company partners, community faculty, majority vote, annual transparency report. Selection, GPA or work proofs, motivation letter, caregiving, low-income priority, interview for discipline safety. 3. Partners pathways, MOUs with trade schools, universities, quarterly open site days. Hiring floor, commit EIG, 30% of new hires via the fund, link to industry associations for portable credentials. 4. KPIs, 12 months, 70% full-time placement, 80% 9-month retention. Projects with fund teams meet or exceed baseline gross margin. G. Safety, 0 severe incidents, 100% training pre-site. Diversity, plus 10 PP in technical roles over 2 years. 5. Rituals, each graduating cohort adds a wooden name plaque to the Builders of Tomorrow wall. Invite families to tour safe sites, so they see this is a proud trade. Thinking of a similar fund? Start with 1-page bylaws and a profit % commitment. Small is fine, but be steady and transparent. Opportunity, like concrete, needs a form and curing time. Set the form today. In 10 years, you'll call those once overlooked colleagues, partners, leaders. At the ribbon cutting of our first lighthouse project post-restructuring, I, Juliet, stood between camera lights and a drill humming in the distance. The new plaque read, "Built on tradition, designed for the future." I touched the cold edge and realized my journey wasn't to erase the past, but to fit the pieces. Dad's concrete discipline, Mom's legal vision, my generation's sustainability, into one story. Legacy isn't a museum, it's a motor. I no longer hide from the family name, I define it. I used to live in either or, forgive Dad or keep the scratch, cut Jackson off, or become a permanent rescue shadow. Adulthood is both and, stare at the hurt and choose better action. I kept Dad's unsent letters as a map, clumsy with words, rock solid with commitment. I kept Jackson in with guardrails so he couldn't derail the convoy. I kept the company, stripping hollow rituals for useful ones, publish safety stats, pin lesson cards, light the daycare for our kids. I reconciled not just with history but with myself, the overlooked girl now standing on site saying, "Let's redo," not as an order but as a promise. I wrote a 1-page leadership manifesto and taped it to the boardroom wall. If you're on a similar road, borrow this and swap your company's name. 1. Purpose. Why? Build places that are safe, beautiful, and efficient, so workers feel proud to bring their kids. 2. Principles. How? O transparency. First, persuasion. Second, weekly public numbers, progress. O safety is KPI number 0. Without it, other KPIs don't count. O, sustainability with math. Every green comes with payback margin. O, people before structure. Promote field competence, not just tenure. 3. Red lines. Never. No skimming, no sweetheart subs, no signing before 4 QA QC gates. 4. Small rituals, big effects. O, one-page quarterly letter to company partners. Revenue, margin, safety, 3 lessons. O, White Helmet Day. Once a month, leadership spends 2 hours on site asking 3 questions. Biggest risk? Where's the jam? How do I help today? O, builders of tomorrow wall. Engrave the month's top cost-saving craftsperson. 5. Succession. Next. 2 layers of bench. Each manager picks 1 shadow and 1 seed from another department to break silos. At the bottom, I left a line for myself and anyone who needs it. Legacy isn't inherited intact. It's upgraded by responsibility. If you find yourself on your own job site in life, with the past loud in your ear, set your hand on the plaque of the future you're writing. Don't sand off the scratch, turn it into grain. Then step forward, sign with process, hold with numbers, pass on with opportunity. Do it long enough, and the name that once felt heavy becomes a fulcrum, and the next chapter of your company and your life reads smooth.